Welcome back, you guys, to video number 3. This is going to be kind of long because the royal family has been super busy and I didn't want to, put it off. Let's stay on top of what's happening. Best thing of all, Catherine is back. All right, let's jump in and cover, shall we? Let's go. We are going to start with Queen Camilla, who visited the Lacock Primary School to celebrate their 200th anniversary. The school is in Wiltshire. Now, she came from an engagement, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes, and she surprised these students by gifting 5 of her favorite children's books. Camilla met different school children in different classrooms. She met the Oak class, which has children ages 4 to 6, and they were studying poetry, and they read out loud to Camilla. She then went to the Willow class, and they were decorating frames with dried pasta. And then she went to the Beach class, which are years 2 and 3, and they did a song called I've Got the Power in Me by Rebecca Lawrence. She was also shown some artwork that was installed to honor photography pioneer William Henry Fox Talbot, who built the school in 1824 and to mark his 21st birthday. And on her way out, there were people lining the street. So, of course, she stopped for a second to say hello to all those people before getting in her car and leaving. I love the polka dot dress. Next up, King Charles received the First Minister of Wales, Mr. Gettr, at an audience at Mansion House in Cardiff. So in case you haven't figured it out, Charles and Camilla went to visit Senedd in Wales. For those of you wondering what they were doing there, they were there to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Welsh devolution. When they arrived, they were greeted again by the First Minister of Wales, who you saw a little while ago. Charles said it was wonderful to see that Senedd uses the Welsh language because it's not just as a symbolic use, but it's the foundation. They went down the line meeting multiple staff members. They had some poems written for them. There was a choir from a local primary school that sang one of the songs. Now, really interesting, 2 poems by Seddon staff members were also read out. This is Camilla standing with children of the choir. The name is Anybody Can Choir. They also met, by the way, the King and Queen met with party and parliament members. One who was appointed the King's harpist played for them. It was her first performance in this new position. Of course, the King went out of his way to reference Prince William, the Prince of Wales, and he delivered a speech, and he said, "It's a milestone on a journey which has been my privilege all my life to share with you during times which have seen great change, profound sorrow, and tremendous achievement. Through it all, my respect and affection for the people of this ancient land have deepened with each passing year." He said, "It also gives me great pleasure to see my son's relationship with this special land continue." Looking good there, King Charles. All right, next up, St. John's Ambulance had an official dinner, and they had the Grand Prior, who happens to be His Royal Highness the Duke of Gloucester, and the International Grand Council attendees. I don't think the Duke of Gloucester gets enough credit because he really does work a lot. Here's another example. I had no idea this took place. The Duke and Duchess of Gloucester were with Queen Matilda and King Philippe of the Belgians, and they laid a wreath during a ceremony at the Guards Memorial, the cenotaph, to remember the fallen of the world wars. And this took place, in London a few days ago with the Horse Guards Parade. I don't know how I missed it, but apparently there is an annual Belgian parade and service of remembrance at the cenotaph. I didn't know that. Now, we're going to move on to Wimbledon. This took place a few days before the Princess of Wales returned, when Pippa went, and she was wearing what looked like pajamas. But, look, she was comfortable. Who cares? And she looked phenomenal, as she always does. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us this purse. I really do like this purse. Next up, we see Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, Lady Helen Taylor, the Duchess of Gloucester, the Earl of Snowdon. There were lots of people there. Remember, this was a day or 2 before Catherine arrived. Everybody was looking really happy. By the way, this was also before the announcement that Catherine was going to make it to the last day of the men's finals. Let's move on to Princess Anne, who says she doesn't remember anything about what happened, the horse injury. And the reason we're talking about her is because she went back to work. She's doing like Charles did and like Catherine did, and she's doing a gradual return. So she went to the Riding for the Disabled Association, the RDA National Championship at, I hope I'm saying this right, Hartpury University and Hartpury College. Anne became patron of the RDA in 1971, and then she became their president in 1986. Anne was there to meet with several participants and RDA staffers, and she handed out trophies to the winners. I have to say that it is being reported that while she was there, after handing out the trophies, she seemed a little unsteady on her feet, so they got her a chair and they sat her down. Now, the person who is, ahead of this said that they were very happy and deeply touched that she decided to come back to work with this particular event. The pictures of Anne's face clearly show that she did take a massive blow to the head and face. You can see that they put a lot of makeup on her trying to cover it up. It's hard to remember because Anne is such a hardworking person. It's hard to remember that she is 73 years old because of all the work that she does and her constant on-the-go attitude. But I'm glad that they're reintroducing her slowly. The fact that she needed to sit down because she was unsteady on her feet, maybe they were returning her a little too quickly to work. But good for her. I'm glad to see her out. Moving on. Let's move on now to Prince William, who played polo to help raise money for 11 charities and causes that he and Catherine support. The match took place on Windsor Castle grounds. He participated. This is an annual charity match at the Guards Polo Club. As you just saw in some pictures, he was seen outside the U.S. Polo Association hospitality tent chatting to some guests. You should know that last year, the prince raised £1 million. And this match marked the 13th time that William participated in Outsourcing Inc. At the Royal Charity Polo Club. And the amount raised this year, they're hoping, will be more than £13 million. Now, the charities that they're hoping the money will go to is emergency services, mental health, early years, conservation, and the armed forces, just to name a few. The team got a trophy, and then William was called over to get a separate trophy. How different is this from what Harry did? Here he's collecting a trophy as a team and raising money for charity, unlike Harry, who's getting money to line his pockets. Now, Peter Phillips and his girlfriend, Harriet Sperling, attended this particular match and were caught together. They look gorgeous together, I think. I really sincerely hope that this relationship works out for him. He deserves to be happy. Now let's go back to King Charles. While he was in Wales, he did a tour of Sony in Wales. He met staff and apprentices, people that were drawn from over 600 employees. They focus on fields such as design for assembly, advanced manufacturing, etc. So this was the technology center that he toured. This just shows me that Camilla and Charles were really, really busy while they were in Wales. Let's continue. Charles was with Idris Elba, and he had a discussion on youth opportunity at St. James Palace, including issues around knife crime, because as a teenager, Elba was given a £1,500 grant by the Prince's Trust to go to the National Youth Music Theater. There was an event that day for the King's Trust, and so this man and the King and the young people held up England football team shirts in support of England's football team. I wonder, because King Charles is doing many more things and he's more around people, if he's even in cancer. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he's still doing them. All right, let's keep on, but with King Charles still. During this event, the same event for the King's Trust, I believe it's the same event, Charles met with Prime Minister Mr. Starmer and the new Culture Secretary, Lisa Nandy. The King and Elba then joined a roundtable between young people and youth groups to hear about their takeaways from conversations about the importance of positive opportunities for young people, especially those impacted by youth violence. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, on Sunday, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, arrived at Wimbledon. She looked gorgeous. She was wearing purple. We all know purple is the color of royalty. I was very happy to see her. I'm not going to lie. She was already very thin, and she looked even thinner, if that's even humanly possible. But I was happy to see her, and I was even happier to see that Charlotte was with her. Now, the Princess of Wales and Princess Charlotte met the following people. I'm going to try to say the names correctly. Emma Raducanu, Lucy Shuker, Lily Miyazaki, Sonne Cartal, and Flora Johnson. This is the part where I think it's really nice that we get to see one of the royal children. Of course, we've seen her since she was a small child, but this is good training for Charlotte. Look how, Catherine has her hand protectively around her. She's teaching her the role. You guys know what I'm saying. She's teaching her the way. This is how it works. This is what you say. This is what you do. This is the small talk that's made. This is how you be princess. As Catherine walked to the royal box, which, by the way, is located right above center court, Catherine received a standing ovation and an amazing amount of applause and support. She smiled, she waved, she was obviously very visibly moved. And of course, we found out that alongside Charlotte, she brought her sister Pippa. Now, one of the people that was in the royal box was John McEnroe, and he said it was awesome seeing the Princess of Wales, quote, after what she's been through. I think she looks lovely, but like I said, as if it was possible for her to lose any more weight, it looks like she has. I wish she would put a little bit of weight back on. Charlotte's hair, you can tell she's been out in the sun. She's the kind of kid that her hair turns blonde while she's out. She also has amazing facial expressions that are being seen as the game is being played. It's obvious that she and Catherine are having a fabulous time together, sitting together. It's also pretty obvious from these pictures that Charlotte is very close to Pippa. They have a good relationship. Now, as the sun was in their face, Catherine and Charlotte put on their sunglasses and began to watch. But there were other people sitting there watching too. We have Tom Cruise, Hugh Jackman, Zendaya. Zendaya looks amazing. We also have Julia Roberts and Benedict Cumberbatch. We have Courtney Cox and model Naomi Campbell. And also spotted up in the crowd, Pierce Bronson. All fabulous people, all the good people. Carlos Alcaraz was the winner, and Princess Catherine went down to give him the trophy. She had that gorgeous smile on her face. What I love is that this guy, Carlos, as he's walking up to her, bowed. I'm just going to show you this short little clip just to show you because it was such a beautiful moment. And by the way, this is his second win in a row there. I think that's just fabulous. She's so graceful. She's so kind. You know that everything she said was probably right on point. And by the way, this was the second thing that happened because before she gave him the trophy, she commiserated and shook the hand of the runner-up. I'm going to try to say his name, Novak Djokovic. And he also gave a great bow. Now, his bow, I got to be honest, his bow was a little better than the winner's. It was a little deeper. It was a little nicer. But once again, she said just the right thing, shook hands and stepped back to let him have all the glory. Now, of course, before she left the field, typical, she went to meet with the ball boys and girls that were lined up along the field. It looks like she had a great day there. And finally, at some point during the day, Princess Catherine was gifted the tennis racket. I'm just going to say her first name, from Barbara. She was the ladies champion and she had won the day before in a 3-set match. And she decided to gift her tennis racket to Catherine. And of course, Charlotte was seen holding it. I just think that's such a nice gift. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce, as usual, for putting up all of the outfits that everybody was wearing. I'm trying this again where I put them all at the end instead instead of during the middle. But it looks like everybody had a great time. All right, you guys, I know that was long, but the royal family has really been super, super busy. Put those comments down. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. And down in the description box, you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, my Amazon wish list. And if you've donated anything to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.